will be rather light still in the morning hours, but like the last couple of days, we do see that sea breeze picking up into the afternoon. We'll have to watch that. The other thing we're watching for you is that low humidity, right in that 35% threshold, which increases that fire danger. So we will be watching that again tomorrow. So what are we forecasting? Glades, Henry, Collier, Lee, and DeSoto County in that moderate fire danger tomorrow. So I do want you to give yourself just a little bit extra caution as we move through your Monday.
Andrew, thank you so much. And the Collier County Sheriff's Office, well, they want you, the residents out there, to know that you should expect some smoke in that area throughout the weekend. The smoke could make more visibility on some roadways a bit difficult. So on Friday, Collier County actually issued a burn ban until further notice. Now, this prohibits open burning of trash and yard waste. You could actually be fined as much as $15,000 for burning illegally. Now, county officials say the ban is needed as dry conditions are expected to last through the end of the month, as we've been telling you from our meteorologist Andrew Shipley over there. Now let's head over to a developing story in Fort Myers. So this intersection at Alpha Drive and Ballard Road is currently closed. Fort Myers police say officers are responding to a crash with serious injuries. The call came in around 5:45 this evening. We're still working to get more information about the people involved and the extent of those injuries. We'll continue to update you on air and online as we learn more. It's been 5 months since Hurricane Ian, and many are still trying to pick up the pieces from all of the aftermath, including the Iona-McGregor Fire District Station 71 located there on Winkler Road. The station was flooded, and now a Bonita Springs construction company is working to rebuild it.
Iona-McGregor's District Station 71 took a devastating blow during Hurricane Ian, mainly because of the water damage the station sustained. However, one construction company is here to get them back on their feet.
Help is on the way as the Heatherwood Construction Company has started the process of fixing the station. Mario is the superintendent of the project, and he says when he first spoke with the firefighters, they were all understandably upset, but happy the process is underway. A sad sight for Mario Andre when walking into the Iona-McGregor District Station 71, seeing what Hurricane Ian did to the station that houses so many first responders.
They're first responders. They respond to us first. So we need them on the road. We need them to be able to go to the facility, get in their trucks, do what they can to save our lives.
Getting everything up and running at Station 71 is the main thing on Mario and his team's mind. When I asked him how long will it take to get the station back up and running, Mario says it's a good question, but unfortunately impossible to answer.
Today, with the supply and demand issues that we're having out there, I couldn't even possibly tell you.
The construction company doesn't have a set timeline on when the fire station will be complete, but they are hoping to have it done as soon as possible. From Fort Myers, Brianna Brownlee, Fox 4.
Bree, thank you so much. Now, according to the Fire District's monthly meeting minutes from February, stations 71 and 72 suffered damage from the hurricane that actually forced them to shut down completely. So right now, crews are operating out of 3 other stations, although the chief said in the meeting that he expects a temporary setup for Station 72 to be operational soon. And also tonight, we are following updates on the recovery from Hurricane Ian when it comes to the town of Fort Myers Beach. Several important things are taking place this upcoming week, March 6th, which is tomorrow, including the start of construction on underground lines at Times Square to restore electricity. As the town of Fort Myers Beach says FP&L is expected to begin that construction tomorrow. Plus, FMB parking is now open at some beach accesses in addition to areas in the downtown district. Sign ordinances remain in place and permits are required. The Collier County Sheriff's Office has a new warning about a scam. So this involves jury duty. They say that the scam caller pretends to be a law enforcement officer or government official and tells potential victims they owe a fine for missing jury duty. Law enforcement would never contact anyone about missed jury duty. So if you think that you've been targeted by this scam, if it sounds familiar, you need to contact the Sheriff's Office. That number you see right there on your screen, 239-252-2255. Taking place throughout this weekend, former President Donald Trump tops the CPAC straw poll for the 2024 Republican nomination. Trump winning with 62% of support, and our Florida Governor Ron DeSantis coming in second with 20%. The results were announced shortly before Donald Trump took the stage to speak with hundreds who attended in Maryland last night. Fox News correspondent Mark Meredith has that story.
CPAC 2023 is wrapping up with former President Trump, the final speaker of this year's event.
Thank you very much, and I'm thrilled to be back at CPAC with thousands of great and true American patriots.
Now, there were many potential 2024 candidates that chose to sit out CPAC this year, including Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and former Vice President Mike Pence. Many of the speakers at CPAC have been focusing on Trump's America First agenda. Among those speaking out, former New York Congressman Lee Zeldin.
We need to go into Democratic areas, and the best way to get Democrat votes is not to act like Democrats, but to explain why we are proud, principled conservatives, and don't pander.
On Friday, former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley addressed CPAC, urging her party to embrace younger generations of conservative candidates. She's also in Florida this weekend at a GOP donor event, the Club for Growth fundraiser. Haley is among many other Republicans invited, but not Trump, something she referenced with cameras rolling.
I know there's a Republican candidate out there who you didn't invite to the conference, so I appreciate that you did invite me. Others are dragging their feet on the sidelines, waiting to decide what to do. When it comes to saving America, being decisive matters.
And while CPAC may be ending, the race for 2024, of course, rolls on. You've got multiple candidates heading to battleground states, including both Trump and DeSantis, set to visit Iowa within a matter of days. In National Harbor, Maryland, Mark Meredith, Fox News.
Meanwhile, author Marianne Williamson formally announced this weekend that she's running on the Democratic ticket for president in 2024. So this is her second bid for the White House following an unsuccessful campaign back in 2020. The presidential hopeful says she is motivated to explore another run, in part by what she says is the influence of corporate money on the political system, leading to economic injustice for millions of Americans. Back here in Southwest Florida this week, multiple food distributions are taking place. Just this past week, St. Matthew's House and its partners actually gave out 800 dozen eggs to 300 families. St. Matthew's House says with the high cost of eggs due to inflation and the avian flu killing millions of hens worldwide, the people who have been able to pick up these eggs, well, they've been so grateful to be able to help feed their families.
It really is putting the families in a really bad situation where they really have to decide either they're going to have breakfast or they're going to have to pay a bill, and they have to make that choice. What they're going to do, are they going to have electricity or are they going to have breakfast? And a lot of the kids I hear, especially from the school and the teachers, that they go to school and they're hungry.
It's just so sad to hear. So if you would like this help to head out this week, here's a look at the schedule. Starting tomorrow, St. Matthew's House, in partnership with the Harriet Chapin and Midwest Food Banks, well, they will be hosting those distributions. Tomorrow's the one at Paradise Sports Complex there in Naples from 10 a.m. to noon. Tuesday at Naples Alliance Church from 10:30 to 12:30. And Wednesday at Immokalee Friendship House from 10 a.m. until noon. Well, still ahead here on Fox 4 News at 10 o'clock, another train crash is causing chaos in Ohio tonight. What officials say about the threat of more toxic chemicals leaking out into the environment.
And check out your marine forecast for tomorrow. Seas 1 to 2 feet, light chop those inland waterways. Gulf temperatures up to 81. But what about the red tide? I'll break that down coming up.
President Biden calling for more education about voting rights in the civil rights movement during a speech in Selma, Alabama.
No matter how hard some people try, we can't just choose to learn what we want to know and not what we should know. We should learn everything, the good, the bad, the truth of who we are as a nation. And everyone should know the truth of Selma.
It's the 50th anniversary of what historians call Bloody Sunday. A group of civil rights marchers were beaten by state troopers as they attempted to cross the Edmund Pettus Bridge. The march played a big role in launching the civil rights movement in the United States and also helped bring about an expansion of voting rights. And we're tracking developments in Ohio where a second train derailed. The Environmental Protection Agency confirmed that there was no hazardous material spillage from this derailment, which happened Saturday in Springfield, Ohio. This was about 220 miles southwest of where that first derailment happened in East Palestine. The hazmat coordinator for Clark County sharing the update earlier today.
We're certain that there was only 4 tanker cars that were involved, and they were all empty at that time. There is no spillage onto the ground or into the waterways at this time.
So there were 212 cars on the train. 20 of them derailed, like the derailment in East Palestine in the first week of February. This train was also owned by Norfolk Southern. Here in Florida, hundreds of thousands of bikers are rolling into Daytona Beach for Bike Week. As Claire Metz found out, police say they are doing everything they can to keep bike enthusiasts and local residents safe.
The food, the people, the bikes, just the atmosphere, just all of it.
The event is among the most anticipated spectacles of the year, but with so much to see, riders, vehicle drivers can get distracted. The city's police chief is upping the look twice, save a life motto.
Look at least 3 to 4 times prior to pulling out into traffic.
Chief Jakari Young says traffic crashes jumped during Bike Week with the influx of up to 500,000 visitors over 10 days, as do instances of road rage.
Just getting unnecessarily upset because someone cut in front of you. The next thing you know, there's an accident following by an altercation, and someone has to go to jail.
Police say they welcome this Bike Week event, and it'll be hands-off as long as everyone follows the rules. They are bringing in additional officers, 60 in uniform in this area, some undercover, just as a precaution. Area business owners preach security too. Froggy saloon owner Bobby Honeycutt says he held a meeting with staff to go over rules of the road.
Nobody has a right to touch anybody, do things that are illegal or emotional, and that we talk about overpouring, over-serving.
For many who live here, the shadow of a horrific crime during Bike Week last year still hangs over the event. A local couple murdered while riding bicycles home from Main Street. The suspect was identified and arrested, but Chief Jakari Young says his officers will pay special attention to nearby residential communities, too, for peace of mind.
The goal is to really light up that neighborhood up there and to have additional units on bicycles and just an increase in overall patrol.
Police will use whatever resources necessary to keep visitors and residents safe.
Bike Week has been a tradition since January 24th of 1937, which is also the inaugural running of the Daytona 200. Now, there are hundreds of events for motorcycle enthusiasts to enjoy all across Volusia County. Well, here in Southwest Florida, you might be looking for things to do throughout this week. The weather's going to be warm, and a tempting attraction may be our beaches that recently opened. That includes San Carlos Bay, Bunch Beach Preserve, Bonita Beach Park, and Bonita Beach accesses 1 through 10. Officials say beach parking will be free until further notice. They do remind people, though, those beaches are not fully restored to pre-Hurricane Ian conditions, so you just want to be careful when you head out there. And Andrew, I know you're pretty excited about those beaches opening up. There's a concern about glass and other debris in the sand. That water in Lee County is also raising some concerns as well.
Yeah, that's right. Obviously, we're continuing to watch red tide levels up and across the area. So we're going to start from the north and work our way southward here. We're still looking at anywhere from moderate to low concentrations around the Venice area. It does pick up closer to Grove City and then down towards Boca Grande. Now, the other spot we're watching, obviously, closer to home here, Fort Myers Beach, Sanibel up towards Captiva Pine Island. We have seen this backing off towards low concentrations. That's good news. One of our directors actually was at Bunch Beach yesterday. He was telling me no fish were on the beach, so that's obviously a good sign of things. But where we are seeing it to pick back up is right around Dog Beach and then southward from Lover's Key all the way down through Naples in that higher concentrations than Marco Island, still seeing that moderate concentrations there of red tide. So what's going on here? Obviously, we do watch the wind for any respiratory irritation. It is going to be lighter in the morning. We are seeing that more of the north expected on Monday. It still will be more north-northwest into the afternoon, but still coming off the Gulf and picking up. And in that afternoon hours, that's where we do expect the higher chance for any respiratory irritation, especially where we are seeing those higher concentrations down in Collier County. So between 2 and 6 o'clock down at Naples Pier, we'll be in that high range there for respiratory irritation. But we aren't seeing as much of that red tide levels near Fort Myers Beach, but still you'll notice that increase there into the afternoon, evening hours. Obviously something we'll be watching, but outside of that, beach conditions looking pretty good tomorrow. 1 foot or less that surf, Gulf temperature getting up to 81 degrees. But speaking of tonight, though, it was a warm day today. Still warm out there at this hour, 77 degrees. Fort Myers there at the Luminary Hotel. Winds out the northwest at 5 miles an hour. Do expect over the next couple hours, though, slow to cool things down. 71 degrees still by the 4 o'clock hour. I think ultimately getting down into the upper 60s, but that will be closer to daybreak. We're also going to be tracking patchy areas of fog into the start of tomorrow. And you can see that 6:30 in the morning peaking on out there. Visibility in some spots down a half mile or less. So you just want to be careful with that. Outside of the fog, though, I do expect another sunny day. Now, we are expecting, though, a few more clouds into the afternoon hours and the chance for maybe a stray shower. Most of that will be most likely towards Lake Okeechobee. So watch it, but nothing significant, unfortunately. Outside of the little bit of clouds in the afternoon, it is going to be a warm day again, 89 degrees, which we saw today in Fort Myers. Is what I'm expecting tomorrow. Inland, though, 96 in Immokalee, 90 Clewiston, 92 LaBelle, as well as Arcadia. Down in Naples, I'm looking at about 86 degrees for you on your Monday. But get used to these warm temperatures. Expected to be on the upper 80s, low 90s through Wednesday. Now, we do drop off a little bit towards the end of the week, but still remaining above normal or just at normal through the weekend, but very little rain in the forecast as well. Again, a slight chance tomorrow closer to Lake O. Better chances we head in towards next weekend, 20% there Friday. That does increase, though, as we get in towards Saturday up to about 30-40%. So Saturday's going to be the best chance of some rain. Also, don't forget, we move forward the clocks next weekend.
Andrew, thank you so much. Well, let's give you a live look right now there from downtown Fort Myers, from the top of the Luminary Hotel there. As you just heard Andrew say, it's about 70s there. It's feeling pretty warm in Fort Myers. We'll catch you up on the top stories of the day when we come back. Stay with us. Welcome back. Your time is 10:26. Let's take a look at your top stories tonight. So the Florida Forest Service says the 300-acre wildfire that's burning in Collier County since Friday is about 75% contained. We also know the cause of that fire was due to a power line coming in contact with a tree. Also, we'll have more coverage on these top stories tonight on Fox 4 News at 11. First, we're recapping Fox 4's extensive coverage on history and influence of black culture here in Southwest Florida. That's coming up next. We'll see you back here at 11.
And take a live look outside across the Caloosahatchee from the Luminary Hotel here in Fort Myers. We're looking at temperatures still on the mild side, 77 degrees right now. Looking at winds out of the northwest at 5 miles an hour. Check out the next couple hours, though, for you. Again, warm night for us. Slowly going to cool things down, about 71 degrees there by 4 o'clock. Staying mostly clear, though. Do expect a few more clouds as well as some areas of fog developing here tonight. We'll talk about that in just a second. I think ultimately, though, right around daybreak, we'll be in the upper 60s, about 69, 68 degrees on average there tonight. But again, we'll be tracking areas of fog, timing that out for you here. It looks like about 6:30 in the morning. We do see that peak fog forming up across the region, though. This should be pretty quick to move on out and back to the sunshine for us as well. Here's another look at things. You can see that areas of fog out there in the morning hours. That lifts on out, though we are expecting mostly sunny skies into the afternoon. A few more clouds will start to pop up later into the afternoon hours there. We get a little bit more lift in the atmosphere with the warming temperatures. Also the chance for maybe a spot shower there inland. Unfortunately, this does not look like it's any significant rainmaker, thunderstorms, or whatnot. So a quick passing shower is all possible. You can see closer to Lake Okeechobee tomorrow. But temperature-wise, another warm day. 89 degrees Cape Coral, Fort Myers, 90 Punta Gorda, as well as Arcadia. How about 85 down in Naples? Further inland, 96 in Immokalee, 90 out in Lewiston, 93 LaBelle. Yeah, it's going to be another toasty day. Northwest winds about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Get used to this again. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, very similar conditions out there, upper 80s, low 90s in the forecast. And then, well, another frontal boundary moves in on a Thursday, kind of skirts next to us. So drops temperatures down a few degrees, still going to stay above normal, but another frontal boundary moves in for this weekend, and that's going to drop us down to about average for this time of year, which is 80 degrees there on a Sunday, and to bring us a little bit better chance of rain at the end of the forecast period. But really, very little rain chances, unfortunately, for much of the work week, and boy, oh boy, do we need it. No rain has fallen at Fort Myers, Punta Gorda, or Naples so far for the month of March, obviously continuing to add to our drought, which is in that moderate range across all of Southwest Florida. But what's going on here at the end of the week? We are tracking a stronger frontal boundary moving on through, bringing us that better chance of some showers and storms into the area. So we'll be watching that later on into the weekend, in towards the weekend. Obviously, some things will change between now and then. We got some time period here, 7 days, but we'll take what we can get, obviously, this dry season. But in the meantime, yes, above normal temperatures are continuing here. 89 degrees there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then cools off and back into the mid-80s starting Thursday, and then lower 80s heading into the next weekend. Don't forget, also spring forward on the clocks.